5, 4, 3. Just kidding, we already started recording. Welcome back to the podcast. This is actually a reintroduction and a rebranding of sorts. So we were like, man, we should probably just do a podcast, and why not talk about the new series, What If, to kind of get us back into it. I am one of your hosts, Chelsea.
I am Caleb.
And we've been Marvel fans since the beginning of this whole thing. Literally since we were like bebés.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So,
2008?
2008.
Yes, gang.
Yes. With the horrible Hulk film.
First of all,
that
was
early.
Iron Man. That was the first one, not Hulk. Okay.
Well, there was an Easter egg.
Well, technically they came out in the same year.
All right. I mean, technicalities. Anyway. Somebody fact check.
There's too much to remember this. Yo, honestly.
Fact
checking needs to be a thing, because Marvel's getting complex.
It is getting complex. My brain already hurts, and we're not even like tapping into the full power of this whole multiverse thing. Just to forewarn you guys, we have tea, so this might be also accidentally ASMR. We're sorry in advance.
You're welcome.
Yes, actually, you're welcome. And if you guys like tea or have any brands for us to try, let us know. We'll be happy to try it.
Yes.
Conspiracy in tea or conspiracy? I don't know. I try to find something.
Conspiracy talks.
That sounds nice. Anyway.
Branded.
So.
Copywritten.
So we decided that we were going to kind of rebrand because WandaVision is just too, how would you put it, specific of a topic that we want to talk about.
Narrow, I think I would say.
Yeah, it's very narrow, and Marvel is just, my goodness.
They're the opposite of narrow.
Exactly. So we couldn't just, not talk about all that Marvel has to offer. So we are now calling ourselves, drum roll please, MarvelVision. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, MarvelVision. I think that suits us. What do you think? You like it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Anyway.
If you don't like it, deal with it.
Well, yes. But we hope you do. And please come back. So, What If Episode 1, if you haven't watched it by now, we apologize, but also sorry not sorry, because there are spoilers. By the time this drops, Episode 2 should be coming out shortly thereafter.
So you missed your season. There's no empathy here.
There's no empathy. We warned you. So this is your time to stop listening if you have not watched Episode 1. But Episode 1 is entitled, what was it again?
Captain Carter, the First Avenger.
Yeah. Yes. A play on
Captain America.
First Avenger, not Winter Soldier. Sorry.
Look at you.
Already confusing
Already
movies.
Blaspheming.
Ah!
Look at you, heretic.
Listen, I swear I'm a fan. Okay. Jeez. All right, it's been a long day, but yeah. So we see the beginning of the I guess opening credit with the Marvel situation.
Oh yes, it's the same thing. It's the same intro as the films.
Yeah.
Which you could say it doesn't mean it's going to tie into the MCU, but apparently it is going to tie into the MCU in some way.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it. I don't know how it's going to do that, but I have a feeling a lot of these actors are going to want to stick around for a while. And they're probably down to reprise their role as an alternate dimension version, and it keeps it fresh for them.
It does. So. And I mean, money, come on.
Facts.
Also, I thought this one little nerd thing, I guess, but when it said Marvel Studios, when it switched to the 2D Marvel Studio logo, I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of let us know, hey, it's the first animated Marvel series. Yeah. And it's pretty dope.
It's very dope. The style is.
What do you think? Yeah, I was about to say the animation.
Reminds me of Borderlands. If you know, you know. But it's it's a really good way to fuse real life representations of the people's faces with 2D animation. So
I didn't realize 2D animation can be that intricate and super I've never seen something like that before. Right. I haven't watched Borderlands, but
You're
I thought
a noob.
I am
2D
also
animation.
I am guys. I'm more of a live action movie, real person type of watcher than I am
an avid animated media watcher.
So that's our, I guess, media preferences. But I really like the animation. And so they have like the opening, I guess, scene from the watcher standpoint. I thought that was cool.
Homeboy Uatu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get a Watchers movie?
I don't think we're gonna get a Watchers movie, but I feel like they're setting up certain characters because I think I think they're planning so far ahead that like they probably already have like aspects of Phase 5 already like
and
done.
Remind me what
like
phase are we in?
Phase 6. I think we're in Phase 4 right now.
4.
Because Phase 1 ended with Avengers 1, and then Phase 2, Avengers 3. Then Phase 2, Avengers 2, and then Phase 3, the Infinity War Endgame thing. So we're in 4 right now, but I guarantee you they're probably starting, if not halfway done, planning out 6.
Yeah, Marvel always thinks ahead, and
so I don't know what they're gonna do.
Who knows? But that's like the exciting part of all this, and why we call this MarvelVision, because there's no way in the world you can just not talk about everything.
You don't know what's going to happen, especially with if you saw Loki, know we're definitely getting into the sauce. And there's certain stuff that was teased about, multiversal nexus stuff. And if you know the comics, there might be some Secret War type stuff being set up, and that getting a little saucy because that could be a whole phase. It
could be. They have so many options, which is so cool about this whole animated series, and I think it's really good that they're exploring all the possibilities starting with the animated series, because it's just so much to make a movie about all, and it would just be crazy. So let's get to Captain Carter. The moment that changed, I guess the Nexus event was
using the lingo.
The Nexus event for, I guess, that scenario was her decision to stay in the room.
Yeah, which is like, when you think about it, it's fire, but at the same time, it's like mad people died because like everyone else stayed down there because she stayed down there.
Right, and like in the movie, she decided to go up to the booth, the observation deck, and everybody was there.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, was it good for her to actually stay down there? Because other people, like, hella people died. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it just makes you go,
This is the circumstances of the origin story.
Yeah.
Like certain heroes have darker origin stories than others.
Yeah.
If any of y'all are fans of My Hero Academia, Endeavor is a good example of that. But yeah, some people have really dark backstories, but they end up being heroes. But
do you think this is like a dark part of her story, or it's just
a
circumstantial thing?
It's a circumstantial thing that happens to be darker than the original, at least in terms of the MCU and everything like that.
Right.
Because let's be honest, Captain America has that clean golden boy kind of.
Of course.
They're not going to make his origin story that gritty.
He's like the symbol, right?
And even like some of the action later on in Captain Carter, like
we're gonna get there.
Certain stuff you can only do in 2D.
Dear
so you know what I'm saying.
Lord.
But there's a level. Yeah. There's a level of violence that can be portrayed, and they went there without making it bloody.
We're going to get there. So she decides to stay. We see that she's like, oh my God, boom boom is about to happen. Boom boom happens. Steve Rogers gets shot. She ends up running to him after she kills the assassin there. In the movie, she's actually chasing the assassin on the street in a car. Well, he's driving the car. She's running him down, and Steve moves her out the way and all that stuff.
It's arguable that she would have killed him in there, but it's also arguable that she would have got hit by the car.
Right. Yeah. So it's just interesting the two comparisons from the movie to the animated show. And so she gets in the I guess machine thing, right?
And it's like the same exact shot composition and storyboarding from like the scene from Captain America. So.
The parallels definitely match up, guys. If you want to go back and watch the scene in the movie and then the scene in the animated version.
It just whets your nerdy appetite even more.
Yeah, those little
really
details.
does.
Marvel just pays attention to everything.
They know what the fans like. They know.
Yeah. So what was your initial thoughts of like her coming out the tank, or whatever you want to call it?
I almost thought like at first that they just made her taller.
Yeah.
I really didn't feel like she was as like hench as I was expecting her to be.
Okay, but so I'm not the only one.
I'm also kind of okay with her not being all that hench because even She-Hulk isn't all that hench.
Right.
But
interesting choice of word. Hinge.
yes,
Never heard it.
Shouts to my UK fam over there. If you know, you know.
All right. Shout out to the UK.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we have listeners out there, but we do have some people in Mexico.
Well.
Yes, you will hear us.
Yes.
So yeah, I was honestly thinking the same thing. Like when I saw her, I was expecting a lot more muscle. I don't know why, but
just a little more definition, you know.
Yeah, she just looked a little wider and taller.
She looked thicker and taller.
Yeah, but also I was okay with it.
She looked dense.
That's a good word. Dense. She looked dense. Not in like a she looked stupid way.
Yeah.
No, but she just like her physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice, but like I was okay with it.
It also works with the animation style too.
It does. It does.
There's a certain smoothness to the style that works, and maybe
it's almost kind of romantic.
They could have made it. It did feel really dreamy. Maybe there's a part of like the setting because there's kind of like this throwback because it is in the 40s. You know what I'm saying?
It is in the 40s.
So they kind of had like this dreamy haze to it.
Yeah.
I think it kind of helped her not being too defined, just because it probably would have kind of clashed with the overall aesthetic.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted her to look like she could, like, break somebody, you know what I'm saying? I wanted her to come out the joint, like, with the muscles popping out,
Husky.
like low key. Wow. I kind of did, just to make people uncomfortable.
I think some people were already uncomfortable, but,
some were, but oh well.
Oh well, it is what it is. So, Steve Rogers, he doesn't die, right?
He doesn't.
So, that is interesting because I automatically expected, well, he's gonna die. She is now taking his place, but instead he lives and he's rehabbing similar to Rhodey did.
Yes.
And it's a very closely similar scene.
And then it ends up in the suit.
And he ends up in the suit. Let's talk about this suit. What is it?
The Hydra Stomper.
Yeah, the Hydra Stomper is what they called it, but I'm trying to figure out where in the MCU have we seen this suit before?
Well, that's like a lot like the OG Iron Man suit.
Right, and initially I thought that was what it was alluding to, but...
Well, it makes sense because it's Tony Stark's dad.
Right.
You know, and there are like Iron Man suits that have been powered by Infinity Stones in the comics, and they're pretty dope.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like teasing that. We might actually even more of that.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, you know, who knows? Who knows?
What do you think about Steve being in the suit? You liked it? Not really? I don't know.
Honestly, I was okay with it.
I was okay.
A part of me, in a way, like, their relationship was basically like Steve and Bucky's, you know?
Yeah.
It was really just like that, but with that romantic kind of layer to it.
Yeah, Steve and Bucky didn't
yeah. But even though people definitely wanted it, you know, all those shippers out there, you know, for each other. But,
they definitely could.
Oh, yeah. But, in all honesty, I feel like I could have been without Steve in there. Low key, like the suit and stuff was cool.
There were some things I would have been like okay without.
Watching Captain Carter kick butt
Yes.
without the help of a giant suit. But at the same time, I think a part of it is like some people may not be as interested if there isn't some connection to the OG. And it's like a lot of times in these alternate storylines and these what ifs, a lot of times the characters aren't just like gone or dead. They're just playing a different role. So it is pretty faithful to these kind of comic scenarios as well, where the roles are reversed and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's not like the person is just straight up gone, you know, unless it's, you know, DC and then Batman is actually Thomas Wayne after watching Bruce and Martha get murdered, and that's the Batman that has the guns.
Well, we're not crossing over into DC.
I know, I'm just saying.
This is not that, but I understand your point. So, like, okay, so she has her powers, we see Steve in the suit, like, what was your thoughts on that opening fight scene, and she's, like, discovering, like, her true strength, and she gets the shield and the...
I loved it, oh my gosh. It was, you know what it reminded me of?
What?
It genuinely reminded me of, like, almost of Goku, when he landed on planet Namek, fresh out of training the whole way there in Dragon Ball Z, and he pops out the joint knowing the homies need help, and he's like, how strong am I?
She's like chesting,
Let me find out.
And she's like turning around like, oh my god, did you see
was
that?
So hyped. She's like, yo, I'm actually out here whooping some tail right now.
Yeah.
And she was.
Yeah.
She literally, like, she was doing stuff
that
Steve did not do.
The fight scenes were very, like...
She took a giant Humvee head on with the shield and lifted that joint.
Yeah, yeah. And the fight scenes and the action, and not that it was super violent, but the level of violence that they allowed to kind of be choreographed was a little surprising for Marvel.
Whoever the fight supervisor or whatever,
yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it. What do you think about her suit?
Suit's fire. It's very like, if you know Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Is actually,
really
comic book character, was in Lego Marvel Superheroes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. So
but it wasn't a lady.
No, it was not. So it's really a flip on Captain Britain in a way. But I'm perfectly fine with it because they're using original stuff from the comics with the MCU stuff. And it works so well.
It's a really cool blend because
it works perfect.
For me, someone who hasn't really read the comics, it's like a nice visual, animated representation of what some of the stuff happens in the comics.
Exactly.
So
it's a condensation of decades of material,
Yeah, and it's just so much. So we see. I'm thinking about the whole Kraken scene.
Oh yeah.
The octopus thingy.
I forgot the name of those actual beings, but they are like an alien race. But if they're coming in and stuff like that, then I wonder if they're gonna start going like that, then I'm concerned if they're gonna start bringing in characters like Annihilus and his bug army and
there's so many.
Gonna get dark.
There's a lot of. I was surprised that they showed Red Skull being crushed like that.
Yeah, they could have been more violent though.
It could have. They could have pushed it a little bit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say they pulled any punches. They
definitely didn't.
More. They could have definitely pulled more, but they didn't.
I just didn't know what that octopus thing was.
Yeah, it's something with the actual symbol for Hydra, of course, the whole mythical idea of a Hydra, Kraken, all these sea creatures, is that part of it, but the symbol actually does come from that alien race type thing too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of speculation of what it could be.
Into, the mythical, crazy, sciencey, dimensional stuff.
The supernatural.
They have those ties.
Yeah, that's cool. So at the end of the episode, she obviously rescues everyone and pushes the Kraken thing back through. I guess the Tesseract opened a portal.
Yes.
And what happened?
Operating as the Space Stone.
Yeah.
In this,
so
certain stones actually do change what role they play in certain stuff, but I guess in this particular timeline, they seem to be staying relatively the same to what we're used to.
Right. So, being as that this Space Stone opened a portal through the Tesseract, she's pushing through. She comes out on the other side, and who does she see standing there?
Nick Fury.
Yes, that's exactly what he was going to say. Nick Fury and Hawkeye.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also think it's very cool that a lot of these animated characters of our beloved real-life action characters, well, not a lot, but quite a few of them did return for the voice acting roles.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. Captain Carter, the actual actress.
Haley Atwell.
Yeah, she came back and voiced it. Bucky came back and did his animated character. And some of the other few minor characters.
Stan.
Yeah. So that was cool. So actually, that end credit when she comes through the portal is actually the end credit scene for which movie again? The first Captain America, right?
Well, it's a mixture of scenes. It's a mixture of when Captain America emerges and escapes from wherever he was being held, and
then he ends up in New York.
He ends up in Times Square, and he's like, "Oh my God!" So it's a mixture of that, and that an opening scene from the Avengers when Loki comes to that portal.
Yes.
And has the scepter.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of a couple different stuff.
So those are the two primary ones, because when she comes through, Nick is like, "Whoa, agent," or something like that. Put down.
Yeah.
What does she have? Her shield.
Yes.
And a sword. So he's like, put down that sword, and we see that at the end.
I wonder if it's going to become a part of her main thing too.
That would be dope.
If she has the sword and the shield, that would actually be really dope.
Yeah. But it's interesting, that opening scene, he told Loki something similar, put down that scepter.
Yeah.
So it was that mixture, and then the whole, she didn't realize 70 years had, passed.
Yeah. She went through the same kind of trauma.
But she didn't freeze. She literally just passed through. So the speculation, is she passing through time, space, both? Are they, one and the same?
Well, I think the Space Stone is probably going to work kind of similarly to in this particular case, I think it kind of works similarly to Deadpool's interdimensional belt type thing that he has. Because he has like a thingy in the comics where he could just put basically anything in there. That's why he could just pull like a bazooka out of nowhere.
Wow.
And stuff. So it's basically like a pocket
and they never
dimension.
get bulky.
Yeah, basically, you know. So I think they're expanding what the stones can do. Cause like, we can't really imagine that we've seen everything the stones can do. You know,
right.
If anything, we've only really seen the full extent of probably the time stone, and that's it. When you really think about it, at all the other stones, we've only seen like glimpses of certain things, you know, and certain uses and stuff like that. And we haven't seen people like really push a particular stone to its limit.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know if it's playing by different rules or if it's just something that was always there that we're just now seeing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. We really haven't seen like them push to the limits or test it. What do you think episode 2 is going towards? Do you think they're going to continue this narrative of her being like the first Avenger and then now assembling this new alternate Avenger team, or?
Yeah, because that's the thing they're saying, you know, and it seems like you've seen the trailers, there's going to be a whole team up and things like that. But at the end of the day, we don't know how the team's going to form. And we don't know if she's going to be like, I don't want her to be like a scout going out to all these dimensions and like picking up people to join. I don't want it to be like that.
That feels more Captain Marvel, although she hasn't done that, but that feels more Captain Marvel in terms of jumping to different universes, so to speak.
I would rather it be a thing where there's something that brings them all together instead of them like all being
gathered,
recruited.
Yeah.
Like, them just all being recruited kind of just feels like the live action Justice League. You know, because like end credit, the Batman vs Superman, you're like, oh, he has these files on these superpower people on his computer. Where'd he get them from? He just randomly was just surveilling these people. And then he's just like, hey, there's a bad guy coming, join my squad. And they're like, okay, you know, like I don't want it to be that.
And it won't be because we're Marvel. So that's that on that.
Yes. Yes, literally, we just trust them with basically everything at this point.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed this first episode. Some surprising moments, not completely shocking, but I'm looking forward to the next couple episodes.
Nice little hints, like Bucky and his arm.
Yes, nice little like tongue-in-cheek moments and stuff like that. Not too many Easter eggs, but a few little details here and there.
Yeah.
How many episodes do you think there's going to be? Do we know yet?
I think I said 9.
9?
Yeah.
That's a good number. So it's like a full season, and it's coming out weekly, so you just got to wait for the new one, which will be coming out this Wednesday. They're dropping every Wednesday. So hopefully you guys get this podcast before the next episode comes out. Please let us know if we should make this like a weekly thing and review the episodes as it goes along, or maybe just like a every once in a while thing. I don't know. But thank you so much for listening. Hey, if you are a musician, a producer, rapper, DJ, and like make music, beats or whatever, please send us a message and shoot us a DM. We are looking for artists to be featured and using their music for intro and outro purposes for this podcast. And we want to give you credit and kind of like give you like a hands up, I guess, in this whole online industry stuff. So yeah, if you're an artist, musician, rapper, or know someone who's into that and just wants to get their music out there, please send them our way. Shoot us an inbox. And also comment below on what you thought about the podcast and about this first episode of What If. Thank you so much again for listening. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Caleb.
All right.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the MarvelVision podcast, and I hope you can join us next time.